For me also, it was an absolute surprise.
Yeah.
That Aki is not doing the film and Karthik is doing the film. At the same time, I also know now that Karthik is doing the film, but he's not playing Raju. I've messed up with you guys all this while, gave you all crap, didn't expect you to spend money. Suddenly, I'm going to give you something, give me money. It wasn't going to work. You see a tiger, you see a Ranveer, दुनिया में ये cool, ये जो है नहीं, वो इतने ऐसे ऐसे करके घूम रहे हैं कि ऐसे करके attitude should come from within. Somebody who never trained in acting but became an actor. Somebody who's written off as wooden as an actor gets an opportunity to do 120 films.
Hi guys, this is Himesh and welcome to Pink Villa. Today we have with us Sunil Shetty sir, who has completed 30 years in the Hindi film industry and is gearing up for his digital series Dharavi Bank. Welcome to Pink Villa sir. It's
Thank you.
Lovely
Tell me Himesh, one thing. Are you trying to get into films?
No sir.
Are you building a body?
Not at all.
तो फिर क्यों ऐसे buffed you're looking?
Maybe I've gained weight.
Looking good
think
though.
so.
Looking good. देख
Thank you, sir.
वो भी हाँ बोल रहा है, इसे हाँ सर launch हो रहा है.
Thank you sir. So my first question to you is, you completed 30 years in the industry in September. How does that feel? 3 decades and still, continuing to... You're an inspiration for all of us.
Technically, thank you so much. Technically, yes, 30 years, but I think 7-8 years I was missing. तो ऐसे देखा जाएगा तो 33 years. जैसे उतने साल कम हुए. 3 साल तो pandemic ने निकाल दिया, 2 साल. But yeah, 30 years feels good. Lot of love, still a lot of love, and I think that's what keeps me going. Because sometimes what happens is, इतनी बड़ी gap के बाद लोग आपको भूल ही जाते हैं. Media आपको भूल जाती है. But media has kept me alive. The people have kept me alive, probably because of my fitness, because of my health, and all those things. But God's been kind, and here I am again, excited, nervous about my OTT debut, but looking forward with fingers crossed.
So, if you have to say your most special cinematic moments in these 30 years, which would they be?
Of course, my first film, Balwan.
Yeah.
Of course, Gopi Kishan, Dhadkan, Hera Fairy, Border, Red Alert, Krishna, Jhanjariya, my music. I think lot of moments. God's been kind to me. Being a bad dancer, still having the best music. Crazy. Somebody who never trained in acting but became an actor. Somebody who was written off as wooden as an actor gets an opportunity to do 120 films. So sometimes it's a dream. Once again, after so many years, probably a dream role for me, Thalaiva.
Yeah.
And the response, it's been barely a week. People are already calling me Thalaiva and not Anna. That was a universal name, that was an India name for me. Suddenly at the airport, someone says Anna, and I look back and I wonder, do I know this guy? But the familiarity, what came with my name, is now suddenly changing to another direction.
Correct. So, 30 years later, you're making an OTT debut. Is that a new arena? How have the stakes changed from theatres to...
It's a safe arena. It's an arena where you can explore, exploit, no stress. काम करो और rest platform को दे दो. 30 million people, 40 million people on MX. Let them watch it at their pace, their comfort. No Friday jitters, no two films releasing jitters at the same time. And at a time like this, especially when the biggest are finding it difficult to get an audience into the theatres, it would be impossible for someone like me to come in and say, you know what, I've messed up with you guys all this while, gave you all crap, didn't expect you to spend money. Suddenly I'm going to give you something, give me money. It wasn't going to work. So I'm glad it's on MX. As long as it's appreciated. Whatever little has been out on the trailer has been appreciated a hell of a lot. People are already talking to me about the family dialogue and Rama file ki
and the walk.
Yeah. The whole posturing. And imagine, people say you need blue jeans, you need a cowboy hat, you need a horse to make an impact and look like a man. And suddenly you have a lungi and a shirt that has given you the aura and the feel of Thalaiva, who is the king of Dharavi and a larger-than-life character.
Yeah. But sir, you spoke about larger-than-life elements. And you spoke about, people's expectation when it comes to big screen, like biggest of the films are not working. Do you think the definition of stardom has changed from the 90s to now? Because, there is so much conversation that the last generation of superstars were in the 90s and uske baad mein it has started to fade. What do you think is
Yeah, because of
going?
social media, we are there everywhere. एयरपोर्ट पे दिख रहे हैं, जिम से निकलते हुए दिख रहे हैं, रेस्टोरेंट में दिख रहे हैं, रेस्टोरेंट के अंदर जाते हुए दिख रहे हैं, किसी के पार्टी में दिख रहे हैं, कुत्ते को वॉक के लिए लेके जाते हुए दिख रहे हैं. आई थिंक देयर इज टू मच ऑफ अस. और जब आप टू मच किसी चीज़ के देखते हो ना तो आप थक जाते हो. आपको रोज थाली सर्व करोगे ना तो आपको खाने का मज़ा ही निकल जाएगा. तो आई थिंक दैट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाट इज हैपनिंग. हम वो चीज़ें सेलिब्रेट करते हैं जो दुनिया अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकती. तो हम अपने ऑडियंसेस से अपने आप को एलियनेट करते जा रहे हैं. मैं सुशी के फोटो जा रहा हूँ, मालदीव्स में स्विमिंग ट्रंक में अपना फोटो डाल रहा हूँ, मेबैक चलाते हुए डाल रहा हूँ. तो ऑडियंस को लग रहा है ये है कौन, ये क्या मेरा हीरो है. मेरा हीरो वो है जो मेरे लिए फाइट करके कुछ अचीव करेगा, दुनिया में कुछ बदलाव लेकर आ रहा है. वो तो हो ही नहीं रहा. देन हाउ एम आई देयर हीरो? So I think that you've got to make yourself more relatable. You keep asking why is the South working, why is Kantara working so big and things like that. It's probably because they are getting their subjects right, they're getting their content right, they're getting their distribution right, they're getting their audiences right, they're engaged with their audiences through the year and not just before a film releases. So that's the beauty.
But so who according to you are who fit into the bracket of true blue superstars? It can be anyone. In today.
Oh, Ranbir Kapoor, Tiger Shroff, there's Ranveer Singh. There are a lot of kids who have it in them, who are stars, who are superstars and don't behave like them. You see a Tiger, you see a Ranveer, अपने दुनिया में ये cool, ये जो है नहीं, वो इतने ऐसे ऐसे करके घूम रहे हैं कि ऐसे करके attitude should come from within. Attitude is you should believe that I have attitude. या कैसे बैठता है यार, कैसे बात करता है, कैसे ये करता है. ये जबरदस्ती का जब एटीट्यूड डालते हो ना, बटन खुले रखने से आप माचो नहीं बनते, या सिक्स पैक होने से आप माचो नहीं बनते, लेकिन आप अपने आप को कैरी कैसे करते हो, उससे आप में बात आती है. एंड आई थिंक देयर आर 3-4 actors who are really शायद. For me, of course, I'm not counting Salman and Ajay and Sanju and Akshay and Shah Rukh.
That's different.
They're different league itself. I'm talking about today's generation. I'm talking about today's generation. Shahid, he's maintained himself. Shahid is not 6'2", but he looks larger than life. A good-looking boy, knows how to carry his clothes, his children, his family. He knows exactly, that is stardom. When somebody feels, shit, I wish I had a family like him. I want to be as happy as him.
You aspire to be the person.
Absolutely. His 2 children, and the way he's with them. Every father should say, यार मेरे को अपने बच्चों के साथ ऐसे होना है. This is also stardom. When you want to emulate and ape somebody for what they are. Ranbir, his aloofness, his class, the way he speaks, that reeks of stardom. That, according to me, is a star. The others may be stars, may be selling at the box office, making a hell of a lot of money, but good for them.
Great. And so, last week has been a very busy one for you. There's so much conversations happening around your project. There was the trailer of this series which was out. And then there is a lot that has happened with respect to Hera Pheri as well. Firstly, how did you react when Paresh sir tweeted that Karthik is doing the film? Because I remember when we had spoken that time, Akshay sir was a part of it, and then suddenly this turn of events.
No, we were always clear that this was the trio that was doing it. After a long time, it had fallen into place. So for me also, it was an absolute surprise. That Aki is not doing the film and Karthik is doing the film. At the same time, I also know now that Karthik is doing the film, but he's not playing Raju. Now what the turn of events is, what has happened to the script is something that I need to go sit down with them and find out what all this Hera Pheri is. And ये Hera Pheri फिर हेरा फेरी क्यों हो रही है, तो that is something that I need to know. the intention is very clear that the film needs to be made because it's been 14 years, 14 साल तो वनवास काट लिए यार. For every actor, your brand, your IP and the brand that you've built is very, very important, you know. And I'm excited about Hera Fairy. I'm excited about Awara Pagal Deewana. I'm excited that Feroz is doing Welcome. He's a close friend of mine. And I wish him the best because he's had a bad 10 years, you know. And if somebody is coming out of the rut, and he's a large-hearted producer, he's coming out of the rut, so good for him. But if better sense prevails and everything falls into place, super. But yes, Karthik is a part of Hera Fairy, but definitely not Raju.
And so, will you miss Akshay sir? Because, you know, Raju and Shyam chemistry is something which is like...
Of course I will. And that was the intention, and that is the intention. That, you know, Raju, Shyam and this one should be together. But like I said, only next week will tell us where we stand and what is happening.
So, you know, if you go back in time, Hera Fairy as a franchise is so big in the meme world and organic audience. Which is your favorite memory from that film, from the set?
Shooting, like we were joined at the hip when we did Hera Fairy. Priyan made sure that we looked our characters.
Okay.
Zero makeup, clothes unironed, timing of comedy, rehearsals, Babu Bhai, dominance of Babu Bhai, two action heroes
in comedy,
dropping their body language completely and playing to the gallery, playing and accepting Paresh Rawal as your boss in the film, because they were desperate. The characters around it, Khadak Singh, Kabira, all of them so damn interesting. So Hera Fairy itself was a very memorable shoot for us. And from day one or day two, we knew that we were on a super hit track. Like, you know, when I was shooting Border, I felt it. And that is what Hera Fairy is all about. And Hera Fairy is huge as a brand, you know.
So, you know, there's another turn of event which has happened just yesterday. You are doing a film called File Number 323, wherein you are playing, I think, Vijay Mallya's
I'm playing an auditor of a large chartered accountant firm who probably knows more about Vijay Mallya's the characters, I would say, not Vijay Mallya, but the characters' financials more than anybody else does. And I know that a notice has come from Mehul Choksi. I don't know where that came from or what anything came from, because the director and the producer are producing something from whatever is available on public domain. So this whole thing of, I read it about him being defamed, I feel that it's humorous. Because if you've defamed anybody, you are the one who's helped in that process and not the system. So it's about what the government was doing at that time. What were the banks and institutions and chairmen thinking when they loaned that kind of money to people who were absconding? It's about a whole lot of people. And it's a bold subject, and I'm excited to do it.
What do you have to say about Dharavi Bank for all the viewers? It's premiering on 19th of November.
It's a fun watch. It's not about Thalaiva, it's not about Gavaskar, but it's about the other phenomenal actors who are there in it that take it forward. You know, Narcos was one of my favorite shows, but even he ran from city to city when the cops got after him. Here Thalaiva sits in the heart of Dharavi, in the heart of Mumbai, over 15 years, and makes sure that into his fortress the cops never enters. So that tells you a lot about a man who fears nobody or nothing, believes in principle. His family means the world to him. You harm his family and he will not let you go. He believes that the business that he does is business and it has to be done according to principles. He's a part of every business that there is. He runs the nexus of the politicians. He controls the money of the politicians. Very interesting character for me. A huge challenge and a comeback after years, and your OTT. I couldn't have asked for a better opportunity. Samit Kakkar, outstanding director. You know, he's so good that I would want him to direct something with Ahan. You know, that's the kind of passion and class that I see in him. Vijay, cinematographer, a dialogue writer, Sinica, 22, 23-year-old girl, girl, you know, writing
Wow.
the lines of Dharavi. You don't expect it, but yes, she's killed it out of the park, hit it out of the park. Sarthak, one of the best writers, layering, storytelling, brilliant. Dharavi, set of Dharavi and Dharavi, and shooting so much together. They've stitched it so beautifully, you will not know what the set is
Okay.
and what real Dharavi is. Though we shot 2, 3, 4 weeks in Dharavi, brilliant. So it's not about anything else but the content, and that's what I'm excited about. And fingers crossed, if content works, then Dharavi should work.
Perfect. On that note, thank you so much, sir. It was lovely speaking to you, and
Thank
wish you all the best for the season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Sunil Shetty, Urf Thalaiva, speaking to you only on Pink Villa.